With all of the focus of today's shooter market being on battle royale games, Midair looks to stray from the beaten path and resurrect the once immensely popular FPZ-Z genre. With games like Tribes Ascend attempting to keep the genre alive and, in the end, failing to do so, can Midair draw enough attention back to this unique type of shooter? I'm Colton for MMOHuts.com, and here's our first look at Midair. Midair is part of a genre known to some as the FPZ-Z genre, called this for its emphasis on consistent and rapid movement on the Z-axis. This style of game was made popular by the now defunct Tribes series. Unfortunately, the most recent entry in that franchise died off in 2016 after what people believed would be a successful resurrection. The basic gist of the gameplay is this: you have a jetpack that can boost your speed and give you lots of airtime. And you have an item that removes friction from your feet, allowing you to slide along the ground while building, maintaining, or losing momentum based on the slope of the ground beneath you. Using these systems effectively in tandem is referred to as skiing. You can use a combination of traditional guns and more splash damage based weaponry to kill opponents in a series of massive, mostly open, mountainous maps. There's also a capture the flag mode, which is arguably the best mode in terms of using the movement system to its fullest. Midair doesn't reinvent the wheel when it comes to combat. None of the weapons use hit scan for hit detection. All of them, from the rocket launchers down to the pistols and rifles, require that you take careful aim and lead your targets, a bit of a change from the most recent Tribes Ascend. Using the guns while moving took some adjustment on my part, but it's been a long time since I last played a Tribes game. Once you get the hang of it though, it can be tons of fun to slide past someone at 150 miles an hour and catch them with a disc launcher shot at just the perfect moment. Once you've mastered skiing, these moments start to become more prominent and deliver a nice sense of satisfaction and accomplishment. From an audio-visual perspective, the game delivers a nice sci-fi / Tribes style series of environments if you're playing on official servers. Unofficial servers sometimes look like this, and while that may be nostalgic for classic Tribes players, doesn't work when juxtaposed against the more modern ground textures, skyboxes, and character models. Getting kills, participating in objectives, and winning matches all net you experience towards your account level. Leveling up grants you points to sync into the game's progression system, which, if I'm being honest, is one of the worst parts of the game. The progression tree is a massive grind, and unfortunately a lot of the game's more fun weapons and all of the game's vehicles are locked behind this progression tree. You can spend hours upon hours grinding for all of it, or you can buy all the unlocks simultaneously for $20 US. This strikes me as a huge case of paying to have an advantage, but as always, most of the guns and armor types aren't a guarantee of victory if you can't use them correctly. Speaking of armor types, all of the standard armor types from Tribes are here: your light, medium, and heavy armors, each with their own effects on your mobility, but unfortunately they're all locked behind the same progression tree. Still, I find this to be hugely problematic. This is a case of another developer stripping away elements that were previously a core part of the gameplay experience for the genre and hiding them behind a money or time trap. This alone was almost enough to turn me off of the game completely. Unfortunately, this isn't even the worst of the game's problems though. Despite having gone free to play, the game is empty. Every time I've tried to play across a total of 6+ hours, there have been a handful of servers with 1 or 2 people in them. One server, usually in EU and having horrible ping for me as a result, would have an almost full roster, but aside from that, all of the official and unofficial servers are empty. Steam Charts actually charted the peak player count for this month as 27 players, down from the recent maximum of 75 players in January of this year. Even if you're a diehard Tribes fan, don't bother with Midair. In addition to encouraging you to spend money by hiding progression behind a massive grind, the game is pretty much dead on arrival. Well, that's all for today. Let me know what you think down in the comments below. Make sure you subscribe and keep it locked on MMOHuts.com for all the latest gaming news and reviews.